sad tonight. I don't have a job to find, and if I were tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through sight, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes down, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job
Hi, race fans. Welcome live tonight here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, Hot Atlanta. SIM500. It's presented by the SIMSpeedShop.com Truck Series tonight. And boy, I tell you what, Hot Atlanta is definitely fast Atlanta too here. Well, I'm Joe White up here in the booth, accompanied by old Jay Weezy, Gerald West. How you doing, Gerald?
Hey, I'm hanging in there. It's Hot Atlanta tonight.
Man, yeah, no doubt. These guys have got to put on a show for us here in the middle of practice. And folks, don't worry, it's not going to be 13 minutes worth of practice. I think they're going to advance the session a little bit and kind of give us an early lead into qualifying. There we go, I got it out.
Yeah, I think they had enough practice anyways. They've been out there for a while. I've been watching them. Track's kind of hot right now, 104 degrees, so they're out there having all kind of fun running around.
Yeah, there's the track info for all the viewers out there. We're at a 1.5 mile track, 78 regular normal, like you just said, 104 degrees, 55% humidity, 2-mile-an-hour winds. But Atlanta, boy, I tell you, big speeds here. And let me get my voice right. I had that procedure done yesterday, and still my voice kind of scratchy. But either way, Atlanta, it's kind of neat because iRacing did an update this past week or so, and it's the last build, and they so kind of made Atlanta more realistic, or slowed it down, more realistic in speed wise.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they supposedly they did something. It was either the last build or the build before that several of the tracks, and what they did was they got the times closer to what they were in the actual real life here, as far as running and whatnot. So I don't know if you notice it as much in the trucks as you would maybe in the Cup car, but the Cup car, they say, is a really close resemblance of what actually the actual what they would run time wise around Atlanta now.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I went out there in the OSR Network truck just a few minutes ago, and I ran a few laps just to get a feel on what it's like and what they're going to be experiencing during this race coming up. And hey, it's hot and slick. You know, it should be a good race, though. They got a little bit of control over the truck, man. I mean, it's a little tight coming out of 4, a little loose. It just depends on how the track reacts to the rubber and all that stuff. But it should be a great show tonight. I guarantee you that one.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, they got the title sponsor out here, SimSpeedShop.com. And obviously, you know, title sponsor here for OSR Network and online SimRacingNetwork.com. SimSpeedShop.com. So if you're looking for a button box, looking for anything for your sim rig, I know they just introduced a new handbrake system. Check that out on the website. It looks kind of cool. If you're looking for anything like a button box or anything like that for your actual sim rig or anything, they can put a custom one together. They have stuff on order. Check the boys out, SimSpeedShop.com. You can check them out on Facebook at SimSpeedShop and on Twitter. I call it Twitter, but Twitter. You can check them out on SimSpeedShop. Hashtag get a box, get rid of the mouse, get you a box. The boys, man, do good. And I think the winner of this series actually gets a custom box here at SIM500.
Yeah, and hey, they was going to give away a hat. I wonder if he got that hat last week.
Yes.
But hey, he's got to have that contingency decal on there.
I think they made an exception. I saw Jason Eisenhower, which is one of the guys, Jason Eisenhower, Adam Eisenhower. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and they sent him his hat. So he did get his hat. So that was kind of cool last week.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, he did a good job. He definitely deserved it. And hey, he's got that contingency decal on there now.
Yes, he does. A lot of these guys do out here, and it's awesome. Hey, what's up, Sim Racing Overload? And I want to appreciate everybody here live tonight. YouTube, Facebook Live, well, no, we're YouTube, Twitch, and iRacing Live tonight here. So finally got it situated. I want to appreciate Drew Anderson and iracing.com, those guys over there for working with us here on this, you know, GMT time and all that stuff, get it all right. Appreciate those guys there and whatnot. So we're back, let's set to go racing, and it's going to be a good one here in Atlanta. I feel it is anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a really good one for Steve Gottschalk, considering he's been the fastest in practice here for the last 20 minutes of practice. So, I mean, couldn't nobody take him over on the top of the charts. He got a 31.188 up there, and it's stuck. Let's see if he can repeat it here when they move on into qualifying.
Absolutely, and advance that session now. We're in qualifying. They're going to have 10 minutes, or pretty much the best time that they can put down out here. and qualifying right now. So let's see what guys out here can actually do in the qualifying session. Practice, they look pretty stable out there, so it's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do here in the qualifying run.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race here. I have a feeling that we're going to have some great restarts, a lot of battling side by side, 2 and 3 wide here at times, 2 and 3 rows back at that. So it's going to be deep out there. They're going to have to stick to their guns and sling it on in there and see if it'll stick, and hopefully it will.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going to see these guys, man, right now, pull it off here around this 1.5 mile style track here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As the boys are out there, there's several of them out there. I don't know who, you know, we were talking about this past Monday. Don't really have a favorite out here because, man, I'm going to tell you, all these guys can pretty much just jump up here and win.
Yeah, it's hard to pick when you got so many choices. I mean, it's kind of like going to the bakery. You know, it's hard to find the right one. I mean, you just kind of get one of all. And, I mean, I couldn't pick, to be honest with you. I got a couple names out there that's in my mind. But, you know, it's hard to stick with just one of them.
Yeah, it is, no doubt about it. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in here. As we're in the middle of qualifying, now we do know old Matthew Weisenbach, he's out there. He's looking pretty strong as of right now. But, what is that? Milt Matisse? I think that's how you say his name.
Yep, number 44.
He's up top right now.
Yeah, he threw down a 166. That's faster than the practice time of a 188. So it's gonna see if we can get it any faster than that. But that's a good one. Same with Timothy Johnston. I mean, we had a 188, the fastest in practice, and now we already got 3 guys, which is Doey Woods in the 07. He threw down a 184. Timothy Johnston, he threw down a 176. So a 31.166 is holding down the top of the charts right now.
Yeah, we're looking good so far. Yeah, Timothy Johnson up there. Steve Goschalk, he didn't have the race that he wanted this past Monday. I got caught up in a little bit of incident. I think he actually got disconnected, if I'm not mistaken. But not the run he wanted. I mean, we had 40 cars, and right now, actually, we're in the 30-some right now here for tonight for the Truck Series. And that's one thing about the, excuse me again, folks. Y'all probably got to work with me a little bit tonight. It's the first time I've actually talked since yesterday. But, hey, one thing I found here in the SIM500 is these guys, man, are bringing in some pretty full fields week in and week out.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I mean, they usually run almost 43 a whole field, and a lot of leagues you'll see they won't have that many guys, and at least over 20 or so. So SIM500 is doing something right, and I see why, you know, and thanks to simspeedshop.com for coming on board. I mean, they couldn't have picked a better league over here. The SIM500 league is awesome, and they got a lot of highly talented drivers out there. So if you're thinking about running over here with these guys, you better bring your A game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they got some bad, fast boys here. I mean, I'll definitely agree with you on that one. So let me hear on the chat, who's y'all's favorite driver out there, man? Always like it. I don't really want to pick one out here because, I mean, all these guys, obviously we'll be talking about drivers throughout the entire race, big field, big things. And I try to, with the big fields, one of the problems is we don't get everybody out here. I try to get everybody that we possibly can. I am going to get back to the rundown order here. Notice I got away from that a little bit. Used to ask by way of showcasing some of these folks, drivers out here, and their paint jobs. So definitely it'd be a good one. But look at that sitting in third there, Gerald. Old Nick Timms, Mr. 9-time.
Yeah, and I was watching the race earlier today from last week. It was the Cup Series race, and you were talking about 9 times and how you wanted to talk to him on the radio, but you was having trouble getting a hold of him or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like old Milt's still up top. Timothy Johnson's there in second. Nick, he's in third. Doey Woods, we talked about him last week quite a good time. Bobby Wetzel there and starting in fifth right now is your top 5, but a couple more drivers out there. Still got 4 minutes to go for these guys to lay down a good time.
And you know, the difference between the top five is only 3,100s. I mean, so the top five's really, really close. You know, you got a 166 in first, and then fifth place is a 197. So, I mean, that's really, really close times there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, we're getting in time to maybe the first half. I don't really think they're not splitting up the halves here in this series. Monday night, they're kind of splitting it up into 3 different series. Not here, they're not on the truck side of things. We're pretty much going to go on through and have a chase. So really early to start talking about points, but obviously, you know, we are in what, race number 4, I believe it is, Gerald? I think it is 4.
3?
3? Is it 3? Yeah, 3 in this one.
I think
my
we
bad.
had Chad Coleman, and then Chad Cole won at Phoenix.
Yep, my bad. Yeah, 3 in this one. I'm ahead of myself. The other one in the we started earlier with the Cup Series.
Yeah, so far it's the Chad and Chad show. I mean,
that's
let's
awesome.
see if we can change it.
Well, Nick Cohan won last week.
Not in the trucks.
He went in truck. That's right.
No, Chad Cole won at Phoenix.
That's right.
And,
He didn't have
it.
the sponsor thing on. But he still got his hat. He still get his hat.
I know. Good for him, man. Hey, I hope your voice is doing all right. I know they went around tampering with that $1 million voice box you got, and hopefully everything will be all right. Hopefully I can pick up the slack for you.
Yeah, I haven't really talked this much long since that. Yeah, they just did outpatient procedure thing, and so we're good. That's why I kind of missed last night's race. Apologize to all the dirt guys there last night for that one, but hey, they picked it up great. They brought in a race spot, so appreciate them coming in. I said, man, wow, they go from little dude to prime time. I said, I hear you.
Yeah, they picked a good one, race spot. I mean, one of the best ones out there, you know,
No doubt.
besides OSR, of course.
Ah, man, well, look, I don't know if I can compete with them or not. They got that showcase going on.
Well, hey, they do have the legend Davis Richards over there every now and then. So
They do. Yep, they do.
look,
That's all.
I'd say he's lucky. He's a lucky guy.
Awesome. Good deal. I'm going to tell you, we still got a couple more guys. Looks like 24 of these guys right now just made their qualifying run. Now, you know, we see some guys out there not making qualifying runs. This is something that some guys just like to do. Matthew Welzenbach is one of them. Welzenbach, let me get it right. Welzenbach is one of those guys who I've seen him race time and time again, Gerald. He just does not like to qualify.
You know, I'm the same way, Joe. I mean, I kind of like to start in the back, and you know, a lot of people run a lot harder up towards the front, and I'm a guy that likes to start off easy and work my way in. I say I got to get myself wound up. You know, takes me a while mode. So
Yeah.
yeah, it works off. You know, you don't have nobody breathing down your neck. You ain't got all the pressure on you from the guys that are trying to go real fast at the beginning. You know, and for somebody like me, and I guess a couple of these other guys like Matthew, they're not tearing up their tires in the first 5 laps. They're kind of letting their tires come to them, and they're getting wound up. And, you know, if they're good enough, they'll make it up through the field anyways, and that's the way I look at it. And I'm sure a lot of these guys are the same way. Some of them could have had a little accident there in qualifying, you know, but most part, I'd say they starting in the back for a reason.
And it's a risk reward. You know, when I used to do it, we always just called, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying it, but we always called the middle pack, I'd say probably 15th on back or so, maybe 20th on back. The wrecking dudes. You know, so you either get in trouble sometimes or you don't.
Yeah, well, sometimes those guys are up front, and you know, when they're trying to go really fast at the beginning like that, and they put the pressure on each other, everything's got to work perfect for it to go right. And if you have one mistake within the bunch, it usually takes out quite a few people, because when a wreck happens up front, it usually collects a lot of trucks.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you're right. I mean, the wreck can happen anywhere. You know, we sit around, we joke about it. Whether you run in the middle, run in the back, run in the front, we've seen them all happen. A lot of times, statistic-wise, I guess, most of your wrecks middle to the back. Usually if it happens up front, though, it's really disastrous. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it happens up front, at least you got a reason. You definitely don't want to be wrecking for last, like I say. I mean, you know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it big. Go up front and put her on in there, and hopefully she'll stick. And if not, you know, I mean, but I'm not that type. A lot of people like to take chances, and I don't really like to take chances that much.
All right, well, let's get down here to our grid in order here as we're in the middle of qualifying. Our qualifying's over as Milt Matisse puts it on pole tonight. Timothy Johnson sitting there in the second. Third place man, there he is. Nick Timms up to 9 times, going to start in third. Joey Woods up in the fourth. Fifth place man, Bobby Wetzel. Sixth place starting Joe Hudson. Seventh place, Chad Coleman, last week's winner there. Steve Goschalk sitting in eighth. Ninth place man, Jose Gonzalez. Come Speedy Gonzalez, he's in ninth. Starting in around the top 10 here, Jimmy North. Look through the rest of this field. We got an all-star field here for the SIM500 Wednesday night truck series presented by SimSpeedShop.com. Gerald, man, I tell you what, Atlanta's going to bring about some side-by-side high-speed action.
Hey, I'd say get your popcorn and your drink and stuff, but hey, once you get into this racing action, you ain't going to be worried about that stuff. You'll be glued to the screen there, so stay tuned because it's getting ready to go down. I mean, these guys are at Atlanta, and it's fast and it's hot.
Absolutely. And a huge field, too, here, just looking through here. We've got 37 bad, fast machines, as I always say, some bad, fast drivers and some bad, fast trucks about to do some awful bad, fast speeds at Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. So get set, get ready, folks. We're about to rumble here at Hot Atlanta for the SIM500. As a pace car is going to lead them around here, in a Porsche pace car, that is.
Yeah, I see you let them drive it again.
I know. I told them y'all can borrow it for another week.
Well, you got 2 or 3 of them. I mean,
yeah.
It ain't going to hurt you.
Yeah. I told him, I said, hey, you can pull out the oldest one.
Hey, it's a nice looking one, man. I mean, it's got them nice iRacing colors, and hey, you gotta love iRacing, man. iRacing's awesome. It's looking good right now for the 44 truck, man. Starting on the pole, that's definitely the place to be. He's going to have to keep it out front, though, so we'll see if he can do it. He's got a lot of guys that are bad fast right behind him.
Yeah, and the thing about this track, too, is you're able to pass here. You know, you're going to be able to pass. You're going to be able to go side by side. We'll have to watch how the tire wear falls off at this place just to kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at. But definitely it's one of a place here that you will be able to get side by side. And at times, maybe even take it 3 wide and, you know, on the front stretch or back stretch or whatnot. But after a while, I got a feeling this place gets like what a Charlotte does. You want to start getting into that middle groove, maybe down low or somewhere. What I see is pace cars coming out of turn 4, going to dug off on pit road. And we're going to let these guys go green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the SIM500. Green flags in the air. We're racing here at Atlanta, folks. We're off here as those guys head off into turn 1. They're still glued side by side.
Yeah, and they're going to be that way for a while. They're going to try to get single file as soon as possible. Right now, looking good.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are still stuck to the 2x2 for the race lead up there. There's Milt. He's got it right now, but Timothy Johnson wants it. With the 51 there, Nick Timms behind him, and the 07 up top of Joey Woods. There's still 2x2 and a single file right behind them.
Yeah, they're being very patient there. You know, they got a long way to go, 110 laps, no fast repairs. I would say they're going to try to be a little bit easier than normal because it's awful fast here at Atlanta.
Well, I'll tell you, and you see that high line, just had to give up just a little bit. Kind of got a little pushy. That might be the thing we have to talk about. You know, loose in, tight coming off, and it's kind of just one of those things here. You see them diamond into the turn and let it go down, drift all the way to the line, and then maybe let it glide back up coming out of the turn. That's what you want, that line. If the guy in front of you takes it away from you, that's going to be a hard place to pass as the tires wear on.
Well, you said it right, Joe. That's exactly how this truck's handling right now. A little loose in, a little tight off. Like I said, that track's awful hot, man, 104 degrees. So you can imagine those tires just want to skip across the top when they need the grip coming off the corner.
Yeah, and right now Nick Tim's trying to put that inside move. Now's the time to do it with new tires, but you can see him get the run going in, but you see that truck push up coming out the turn, just can't hold it down, and that high line's going to rumble coming on the outside as he loses momentum on the inside, Nick does, and can't make that pass.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes the high line's moving, sometimes the low line's moving. It just depends on where's the grip and, you know, where they getting the rubber down at. And usually it'll be the high line off because, you know, they got a lift on the bottom to keep it from pushing up. And when they're going really fast, you want to be able to pull right out by that wall. So be looking for them to get single file as soon as possible as they come off the corner here. Yeah,
no doubt. Momentum is another thing that you have to look at here. You know, if you get it killed coming off into those turns, you definitely will fall back like you saw there in Nick. Big battle going on back here. E.J. O'Rourke, he's stuck up top there with the 42 down low, and that 42 machine's actually Joe Hudson.
Yeah, E.J. started 11th here, and him and Joe's got a battle on their hands. They're trying to get single file, though, I can promise you that. It's just not as easy as it looks right now. It looks like the front part of the field managed to make it happen there, and they're still trying to do it a little bit further back.
Absolutely. What's up, John Marine? How you doing? Sure is. Atlanta Motor Speedway here tonight. SIM500, presented by the SimSpeedShop.com. As your leader out front right now is old Milt Matisse. Watching E.J. O'Rourke back here battle a little bit. He's got we got a slew of machines trucks back here, all side by side, about 3 or 4 sets deep.
Oh yeah, top 10. Well, 8 single file, 7 or 8, and then 2 wide from there on back there. The guys on the bottom, they just want to get single file because right now it looks like the high line, it's pretty even, but there's a little bit more speed there up on that high side.
Yeah, and you see that front pack trying to run away since they got single file. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of battling going on between Nick Timms and old Bobby Wetzel up there, as we're still watching a good battle back here from 10th, 11th on back. So we kind of got some interesting battles. And you see that 84 there, that's Jimmy North on the inside. I've noticed him push up there a couple times up into the truck in front of him. You see old Rick McBride back there almost losing it coming off the turn.
Yeah, but he's also testing him out there. He's trying to get single file, so he'll either back off and try to get in behind, or he'll try to move up and see if somebody will get behind him. You definitely don't want to be too wide for too long. It's a little bit harder on the tires. So you do what you can to try to read the driver. Hey, will he let me up in front of him? Let me try this and see if he backs off a little bit.
Yeah, we're still watching Jimmy North. I mean, he went up there and almost went into the door of the 55 of Timothy Johnson there coming in a turn. You can just see that truck pushing in the middle and coming off the turns. He's trying to drive it in to get in front of the truck in front of him. He might have it passed here on the 54 of Tim Matthews. Not quite yet. As he's getting pinched down, you see that truck again just slide up the track.
Yeah, and you got to lift there. Like I said, when I was out there earlier in practice before we came live here, I mean, it was a little tight coming off of 2 there and a little bit tight coming off 4. Seemed like the middle line there through 3 and 4 was a good line. And, we got a caution track on the track, Joe.
Caution on the track. See where it was.
The number 13, he went down pit row.
Oh, yeah, he's got some damage too. Yep, it is him. Let's go back on the replay and watch. He's in low. He's bound low in the 96. Oh, and it looks like he just got pushed up, and then when he did, he had to check up. And I think that was the 9 machine behind him. Just got into the back of him. One of them racing deals there. Go back and watch it one more time here in a different angle. The 6 machine, excuse me. What happened was the 13 went in there. That's Nathan Bowers. Pushed up, got into the 96, had to check up. The 6, just momentum-wise, helped him on around a little bit.
Yeah, and he was too close there to go around him, and it was, and you got to either hit the brake or go high, and you got to make that split-second decision, and before you know it, you're in the back of them. It's you can place the blame on the 6, you can place the blame on the 13, but pretty much a racing incident there. 13 drove it in there, like you said. It pushed up. He had to lift. I mean, he didn't want to take out the guy on his outside, and it's unfortunate that he was the one that got sent around. But he should be all right. I mean, he don't have a whole lot of damage there. He'd be able to come in, let his pit crew work on it, and get back out there, maybe finish up there in the top 15 somewhere.
Yeah, like you just said, just one of them racing incidents where kind of just, Trucks, man, wrong place, wrong time. Well, I'm gonna tell you what, didn't get a talk in with him this past Monday, but doggone it, I'm gonna get a talk in with him tonight if I can find him. That's Mr. 9 times, because you know I got access to move people now, Gerald.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I can move them all now. So I'm gonna move on Nick 10. Let him get on his pit road. Let him do that first. I don't want to mess his momentum up here.
For the car to stop. So some of these guys might have a little trouble with their pit stops and lose a spot or two. Some guys might gain a spot or two.
Absolutely. You see the race off pit road. Looks like he didn't do just like he did. Sometimes I get talking with Nick Timms, Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
I got you loud and clear, buddy.
I got access to move y'all now. I want to tell you I can get to bug you on the track. How's that truck feeling? You up there, Mr. 9 time?
It's feeling pretty good right now. You know, just a little bit tight in turns 3 and 4, but I think we got a little something for him tonight.
Well, you know, you qualified well. You look good out there so far. You was up there battling for the lead. Me and Gerald was noticing how well is that bottom lane, because it looks like those trucks are awful tight coming off the turn.
Yeah, the bottom is almost unusable after about the first 5 laps, unless you really get a run on someone going into the corner and can really get in there good. But the outside is going to be to where all the passing is going to happen, and once you get old tires, the outside's where you're going to want to be.
All right, well, good deal. Think you got a truck to win it tonight?
I hope so. You know, Hitman Racewear Toyota Tundra is looking real good and feels pretty good right now. So we'll see what we got for him.
All right, good deal. Good luck out there, Nick.
Thank you, man.
I can get him back down there in his. There you go, back down at Hitman Motorsports here tonight. I tell you, he said he was looking good. We'll have to see at the end of this one.
Yeah, and what I'm gonna be looking for on this restart is the high line gonna pay off or the low line here? And usually it's the low line, because you get in, it's a shorter way around, and you get out in front of that truck that's up on your high side. But here at Atlanta, it carries a lot of speed, so that high line might be where it's at. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for on this restart.
Yeah, and it's like what he said, the first 4 or 5 laps, the low line definitely pays dividends. And that's what we're talking about, tire wear. That's probably a lot of it. As pace car comes out of turn 4, I'll let these guys go back into it again here. Will be lap 14 when they cross the line of 110 tonight. The man out front, old Milt, he gets a good jump over Nick Timms right there. And Bobby Wetzel, he's on the inside. We'll see if the number 9 can hold that low line down going into turn 1 and 2.
Oh, what a restart by the 44 Milt. I mean, he really got out there just exactly like he was planning, you know, right before it went green there. And the 9, Bobby Wetzel, he cleared the 51 of Nick. So, Nick, they're all lined out. You see how quick they do that, and that's going to pay off for them in the end. The 41's looking to make a move on the outside there. That's EJ O'Rourke. He started in 11th position. He's up there in 5th right now. And he's trying to get around that number 26, Jose Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes, he is. He's rumbling to the top side. Nick is trying to hold off that charge, maybe close that gap on the high side of him a little bit as he moves up the track. As E.J. O'Rourke puts it right down his back bumper, they head off into turn 3 here. They're all going to go single file, so they got single file very quickly. And E.J. O'Rourke, he made it up there to that 4th place spot.
Yeah, and Joe Hudson, he got around Bobby Terrell there in a 14. They made it single file, so see how it works. The front of the pack will get single file, and then they'll start passing one by one up there. Takes a little longer there further on back because guys don't want to give up that spot. But right now, that 07 of Doy Woods and the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, he's really speedy right now as he's making some moves, and he's up to 5th position.
Yes, he is. Good battle going on back here for the 10th, 11th, and 12th, though. You got Scott Simley, Timothy Johnson, Sean Bounty, Joey Katina up there, too, in the mix, messing around, trying to bring it up there in the top 10. So, again, those guys back there, they're all, side by side battling it out.
Yeah, you got Timothy Matthews and Timothy Johnson, all those guys back there. The 34 down on the bottom, Sean Bounty. Right now, Timothy Matthews is battling with the 14 of Bobby Terrell, and he had just got done battling with the 42 truck, and now he's already got his hands full of Timothy Matthews. So you can see how fast it happens. I mean, you let one guy go, and then all of a sudden you got other guys trying to get around too. Then you got to let them know, hey, I'm not Mr. Nice Guy. but I'll let you go this time or not.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As the Ford Machine of Joy looks on the inside, the 55 of Tim Johnson there. They're battling out side by side. Maybe going back here in the back, see what's happening back, maybe back here. See what Matthew Welsenbach's doing here. He's still back in the 27th spot. Steve Goschalk, who was fast in practice, he's still back there in the 25th spot. So these guys haven't made up a lot of ground on where they were back there. Maybe just being patient. They understand it's only lap 19 of 110. We'll have to kind of see, but hey, this place here can be a place that's hard to pass too. You know, it's a momentum style track. Again, I compare it maybe a little bit to Charlotte. Maybe I'm off on that statement, but as far as how you go into the turns and how it acts sometimes, it kind of resembles that a little bit. But it just seems like those guys aren't making the ground up like they should.
Well, it's like a big Charlotte. I can agree to that. I mean, it's pretty much the same line there. But you were talking about that 91 truck of Steve Goschalk, man, and he started 8th. He's done dropped back 17 spots to 25th, and that's part of his strategy. So, you know, you got other guys that are really fast back there. Stevie Menson's back there, Matthew Welsen back. A lot of those guys, they're back there on a different strategy than some of these others. And right now they're just riding. It's early in the race. We got about 90 laps to go, and you know I don't know whether to blame them for that or not. I don't know what I'd be doing. I'm not out there on the track, but sometimes it's not a bad idea to just ride.
No doubt about it. I mean, you know, that's the safest way to do it. Safest way sometimes to be. We talked about it. Some guys love being in the back. Some guys just love, I don't know, just being up front all the time. Some, you know, just can't get out of the middle. So it is what it is. Just have to see how these guys may move up through the field.
Yeah, and you know, if anybody knows me, they know I usually start in the back, and then later on you'll start seeing me get a little closer and closer to that front there. I'll move on up, and you know, you can only do that if you're capable of doing it. So the reason why I do start in the back most of the time is to stay out of the madness, and hey, if I'm fast enough, I'll make it up there anyways.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, John, out there in chat, you know, the only reason I would use the reference of, you know, Charlotte is like this track. I mean, they're both 1.5 mile tracks. They're both kind of configured the same, but it's just the way I see the trucks reacting. And when we race in Charlotte here on iRacing, after a while, that track, the middle line, it starts pushing coming off of turn 4 and turn 2. It can get you a little loose going in. You're fast going into the turns. That's the only reason I kind of see the resemblance there. But again, I think Atlanta though is maybe a touch bit quicker than what Charlotte is. Again, hey, could be off on it.
I would agree to that. It's a little bit faster, and you know, it's usually a little bit warmer too. And I mean, they're hitting about 172 or 3 going into turn 3 there, and then about 176 or 7 going into 1. So it's definitely a fast track. Got to keep that speed up, man. It's a momentum track too. And
you know, and again, with the build that they did and redid, engineered here on iRacing, they kind of made it more realistic time-wise around this track, more so for the trucks. But you talk about the heat. That is the one big factor I would say. Probably how this place would drive a little different. I would think, just me, you know, what I see, what I've seen in the past, is was watching a battle going on here, almost 3 wide, coming off the turn. I thought E.J. O'Rourke was going to try that for a second. But I would think being a little hotter here sometimes that truck would push a little bit more.
Yeah, it's harder for those tires to get grip when it's hot like that. And, you know, all that happened right there with the number 9 of Bobby Wessel, he made one little mistake there, and he had to get out of it coming off the turn, and then they were all over him like white on rice. I mean, and that's just how it is when you're running up front with those guys. They want to go, and if you're you make one mistake, they're going to try to get around you one way or the other. They'll make it 3 wide, 4 wide sometimes. Stevie Menson will.
They're 3 wide again, heading into turn 3. Nick Timms went on the high side, and he thought better of it going into 3. E.J. O'Rourke right there on the side. Well, that's about as close as you can get without putting it in the driver's seat with him.
Yeah, that's one way to say 4's better than 8. 8's better than 4, because they definitely had 8 tires on the track there, the 41 and the 51, Nick Timms and EJ. I mean, but that just shows you how talented they are to be able to run that close together. and you know, not have any loss of speed, any contact or anything like that. But if you've seen it like I did, Speedy Gonzalez, he's moving on up, man. He done checked out on him. He's on his way up towards Milt Matisse in that number 44, which has created a little bit of a gap there between them.
And he did that while those guys were back there, man, just knocking each other's fenders off. And so he was loving what he saw in the rearview mirror. So we'll see if Jose can now run him back down. He's a tad bit faster, I believe, than he is. And so Bobby Wetzel's there. We'll have to see. I think the draft does play a little bit of factor here. This place is really fast enough for that. You can see these guys run single file for a while, then they go back side by side because they get a good momentum run. See the 07 there, well, he pushes up on Nick Timms. That's Doey Woods.
Yeah, and we actually lost a truck there, the 06. He had something go wrong with him, and now he's in the pits. Not sure if you want to go back and take a look, but, I mean, we lost one, and that's just how fast, I mean, it'll happen. You know, you make one mistake here, and it could end your night, and maybe somebody else's.
Yeah, let's go back on the replay here and just check. Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened. That was kind of odd. I don't know if you saw what I saw. He was going into the tri-oval, and that thing just went straight like it blew a tire straight into the wall. Almost like a connection issue or something, but looked like a tire blown. That thing just went straight to the violently, straight right into the wall. That's going to pretty much end his night for the night.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a wonder he ain't in the infield carry. He might be down there right now getting checked out.
No doubt.
He took one heck of a hit there when he went up into the wall there. And, I mean, the 33 of Ben Peterson, I mean, he couldn't have got no luckier to miss him while he was flipping around on the track like that. And fortunately he did, and it didn't bring out a caution or hurt anybody else there.
No, what we're seeing right now is some guys single file, but we've got some clusters of guys that are still in. They still go back here to about the 11th, 12th or so spot. They are 3 wide back in the back there. And they got that mixed up. They're still 3 wide coming down the back stretch. The 96 there, Stevie Minson. Well, he made that high line work up against the wall.
Yeah, that's one guy you need to watch out for, because he'll come through there and, I mean, he'll battle you. If it's 3 wide, he'll make it 4 wide, you know, and that's just how some of these guys are. I'm a little bit more patient than that, but I mean, it works for these guys. And you know, if you're bold enough to take that risk, sometimes it'll pay off, but a lot of times you'll find yourself in the pits. But hey, I mean, it's just a driver's preference.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about him the one time. He made some pretty wild moves the other week coming through the front. Right there was another one, and he's up to 12th right now. He's working over the 84 machine. Jimmy North to take the 12th place. So he's back up to 12th. He's looking pretty good so far. He might be actually trying to look for that 11th place, or maybe to get up in the top 10.
Yeah, and if you're out there watching and you just seen Stevie make it 3 wide there coming off 2, I'll explain to you what was happening. The number 20 truck was battling with the 4. And, you know, when you're battling with somebody for position like that, it takes the momentum down. And then instead of waiting for him to get around, Stevie said, hey, I'm going to stick it in there and, you know, see if I can get around. Now, see how the 55 now, he just did it again. The 55's down on the bottom. He's battling with that 64 truck. That was the same thing that was happening, and he took advantage of that too. So, you know, you take advantage of those situations when you can, but if you can't, you don't want to stick your nose in there and cause any problems.
And again, like I say, we're looking at guys, man, some of them are battling, some aren't. We got some a lot of battling throughout the whole entire field. Rick McBride and Steve Goschalk back there. That's about the 18th, 19th. George Tina's in the mix. Chad Cole's back there. And we talk about the Chad show, who has been dominating so far this season in the trucks. Chad Coleman sitting 15th. Chad Cole is 17th right now. And we got a new leader up front, as I believe Milt has went into the pits.
Yeah, well, E.J. O'Rourke's running second, and Jose Gonzalez has done took over that top spot. And the 44 Milt is in third right now. So, you know, like I said earlier, Speedy Gonzalez, Jose Gonzalez is really fast. He's done found something, and he's done moved all the way up to the front. The same with E.J. He's up to second now, and I would have to say the same for Stevie Minson, because he's really moving up fast as well.
Well, here's the time that you start seeing guys that are very good on long green flag runs. Our last caution was around lap 10 or so. So we've been on this stint for about 24 laps everyone has out here. So now's when you're starting to see those tires are definitely getting worn off. Truck's not handling what it is. It's probably pushing out there, so you got to see the guys who are really wanting the back to turn up, let the thing coast in and glide, and come off the turns right. And you know, hey, old Jose right now, he's got the recipe for winning it.
Absolutely. You know, he's done found something and he's sticking to it, and he's being very consistent with it. And maybe it could be tires or his line or however he's working the throttle or the wheel. It could be multiple things he's got put together that's making him be able to charge up his way to the front and take over that top spot there for Milt. But hey, be looking for Milt to come back on him, because Milt was definitely fast, and I don't count anybody out, and it's never over till it's over.
Yeah, Doey Woods is actually closing in on Milt right now, so I'll just see how this one plays out here as we're at lap 38 of 110 in the books tonight. Been a very good run. Well, hey, we'll do it a little early. Why not? So we got a battle for the lead, and we're going to get to see it uniquely here. Let's go high and wide. Let's bring out the Blimpy can. That's right, Blimpy. Everybody loves Blimpy. Like Blimpy, Gerald?
Love Blimpy.
All
Wish
right.
they wouldn't have took it from me.
They would, I feel sad for you. Took Blimpy away. Well, the one thing about the Blimpy is it shows you a good perspective of the track, just how far apart these guys are. And it also shows you the dual battle you got going on for the race lead and for third and fourth back there right now. But Blimpy, it's a good shot here, man, of the track facility and everything. And we just like seeing Blimpy here. I mean, Blimpy's a happy word. I still want to meet that person that tries to sound mean and stay mean.
Blimpy.
Yeah, and say Blimpy. It just, I don't know, just one of them unique
Did
words.
that sound mean, Joe?
I'd have to laugh at you.
Blimpy.
Yeah, it just don't work, man. It just don't work.
No, it's a fun word.
You run across words like that every once in a while that are, but EJ O'Rourke up front's having fun. He almost had that lead there for a second, just couldn't quite get the thing done. And you're right, Jose Gonzalez out there, he's got a food truck. Maybe he's got some Blimpy meatball sub sandwiches.
I'm a big fan of food trucks, man. They make some of the best food, and every time I see one, I try not to stop, but I usually stop. And hey, man, let's talk about EJ for a second. He just now made the pass on Speedy Gonzalez, Jose Gonzalez, but Jose pulls back up on his inside there as they come down the backstretch. So that's going to let you know, hey, I'm not going to give it to you easy. If you want it, you're going to have to work for it. But what EJ said last week in his interview, he was a little upset that he didn't win that race. He finished third, and, you know, he wasn't too happy about it. So we already know he wants to win. He is a winner. So he's going to give it everything he's got every time he's out on the track, and you can guarantee that he wants to win every race he's in.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They do. I mean, these guys definitely want to put everything that they've got into it out here right now. As you see EJ, but, you know, Doey Woods, he's closing in the gap between these top two. They keep, they don't watch out what they're doing. They're going to actually have Doey up there in the back deck lid here in a minute.
Yeah, he's creeping up on them, man, and, you know, they're paying attention to the mirror. They can see that, and, you know, that might be one of the reasons why EJ backed off, you know, and some of these guys have started to make pit stops, too. As you see the 89 truck, he's got a set of fresh tires on there, and it really shows when they come out with fresh tires. They go really fast, and, you know, they've been out there for about 31 laps, most of them, especially the leaders, so I'd say they have about 35 to 40 laps of fuel in here, and if they want to push it, they can. But a lot of guys are going to come in around 27 to 30 laps.
Yep, no doubt about it. Good run so far these guys are putting on. I appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight for Atlanta Motor Speedway for the SIM500 Wednesday Night Truck Series presented by SimSpeedShop.com. These guys are on a pretty good long green flag run. As you see, Nick Timms has made his, his pit stop. We'll try to do a rundown order once we get past all these pit stops in here and get everybody kind of settled down. As you can just see the difference between new tires and old tires. See Nick Timms moving past the top runners there. You can just see
Yeah.
how valuable it is.
Those guys that came in on lap 27, we call it short pitting. They come in, they make 5 laps on these guys is what's going to happen. A lot of these guys are going to come in at 33 or 34 because they went back green at lap 12, which means a 98 run to the finish. So if you know 99 laps or so, it's going to be 33, 33, and 33. So a lot of guys are going to come in at 33. Some of them short pitting at 27 to make up 5 laps worth of time on fresh tires, and then they'll bite it off at the end to make the guys chase them down at the end, which is what I like to do. You know, I like to get out in front of them and see if they can run me down at the end. If they can, hey, hats off to them.
And you know, there you go. And that's a good strategy. That's something I always needed to try to work on. It's always good to hear a driver's perspective on what strategies can play off, because you know what, if you get out here, there's always different kinds of strategies. I mean, obviously, if you know, have a very fast truck, car, or whatnot, pit stops. You know, like we get caught up so much in speed and who's the quickest. But I'm going to tell you, pit strategy plays about a half, 50-50 in what you do out here in racing.
Yeah, I mean, and those guys that pitted 5 laps earlier, you think that's 6 seconds that they're going to make up. So for somebody to have to make up 6 seconds on you at the end, it really puts the pressure on them, and it's really, I think, harder to do, because you figure they're running 1.2 seconds a lap faster than the guys that's been out there for 30 or so laps. So, right. You know, you do that for 5 laps, that's 6 seconds, man. I mean, that's a lot of time.
Well, we just saw Nick Timms get back on the lead lap, so he's on the tail end of the lead lap, just past Jose Gonzalez. So you can just see how fast it is, and he's going to be going. So at this point, once those leaders do go into the pits, he's obviously going to go past them here. So you're right in the strategy department there. Now, the only thing that can throw that off, and we can throw all our notes out the window, is a caution come out later on, and that just messes up anything. I actually saw that this past Saturday. The gentleman out there, he was pretty much dominating, and he set it up for a 2-stop race. He was going to pit, then pit again. Problem is, caution came out. Now, he still won the race, obviously, because he was just bad fast. But he had to readjust his calculations on his pits because caution came out later.
E.J. O'Rourke missed the pit road. He come in. He tried to make it down pit road. Now he's shaking his truck. He's out of fuel.
Oh, now that's what you don't want to do. That is textbook right there. And that's the other part of the equation. It is a risk and reward to take it very far, but I'm going to tell you, if you miss pit road like that, well, that's disastrous there, because that's going to cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, especially staying out that long. I mean, but it looks like he's going to make it back around. He's going to be able to make a pit stop here, but, man, that hurts.
It hurts, and it's going to hurt a lot. Almost could hurt him to the point of going a lap down as he locks them up coming in. He came in hot and heavy, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's on it. I mean, he's probably a little bit frustrated as well. So, he might slide through his box too, when you got all that pressure on you and you make a mistake like that, it kind of gets under your skin a little bit. And if you have something like that happen while you're out on the track, it affects how you perform. So you really just can't let stuff get to you. You just got to go with it.
And here's the thing too. If the vibe of this race so far, if it keeps going like it is, if he goes a lap down, very, very difficult to make that lap up. Obviously nobody likes to see a lot of cautions, but that's what he would like to see in order to. And if this thing goes caution free the rest of the way, that just makes it even that much more difficult to know that you've got a very fast machine, and he does, to bring it to the front like that. To make a mistake, it's very frustrating, but obviously, and I know, Gerald, we've seen it in races, and heck, I've called races. I've seen it actually, the one man, John T. Wimbish, saw him do it. 3 laps down, had a disconnect early in the race, but due to cautions throughout the race, was able to get back on the lead lap, and doggone it, he finished that race in second. So with a race like that, it's a lot different, but in a pace race like this, very difficult to do.
Yeah, and that's hard. You won't see that happen very often, so everybody gets lucky every now and then. But yeah, unless there's a caution, he's in bad shape. And you know, you said strategy. People say strategy, pit strategy. I call it gambling because it's gambling either way. If you stay out, you know, you're gambling that caution's going to come out. If you short pit, you're gambling that he ain't going to be able to catch you at the end. I mean, either way is a gamble.
Well, there you go. So, short pit, gambling, playing the field, whatever you want to call it. It's all a crapshoot out here. I mean, and really it is. I mean, and that's. But again, we take that back. They all get messed up with the fact that that's half of racing. You know, 50% of is the pit strategy, gambling out here to try to make it pay off. Because obviously, if you've got a fast car or fast truck, if you've got, no matter what you do, if you're that much faster than the field, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna win the race. But things can happen, and other guys can sneak up there and take it from you.
Yeah, hey, 51, Nick Timms, he's up at the top right now. He's at the top of the leaderboard. He's leading some laps out there. He had a phenomenal pit stop. He was one of the fastest trucks that come in and got 4 tires. He's increased that lead to about 5 seconds over second, which is the 84 truck of Jimmy North. Hey, good job on the 51.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, these guys, man, are looking very good out here. So, since we are pretty much in a kind of a single file order here, everybody looks like they pretty much have taken their pit stop. We're going to do it. OSR Network rundown order. I know a lot of people out there have been hit with some messages. Joe, you haven't done it in a while. You haven't done this and that. So we're going to try it here, Gerald. We got some big guys out here, but let's run down the order because that man up front, Nick Timms, looking very good out there as he's driving that machine. He started it here in third. He's currently in first right now. But Mr. 9 times is working this one over. Scott Simley, he's making the pass for second spot right now, so I call him Scott Smiley, and he's definitely smiling in that Tundra. Started 14th, and he's currently sitting in second. Third place man, old Jimmy North. I don't know why I did that to the different side, but anyway, we'll leave it there. But he started 10th, and he's up in the third. Doey Woods right there in the Tundra. He's looking very good in the 07. Started 4th. He's currently 4th. Timothy Johnson, he's sitting up in the 5th place, but he's got a handful behind him. As he started 2nd, he's sitting 5th. Milt Batiste, the man out front, who actually is, he was a man who started it on pole. Let me get my shot back here right for you folks. Started on pole, and he's back in 6th place right now. Tim Matthews, he's a current man sitting in the, he started 12th, sitting in the 7th place right now. And actually behind him, Jose Gonzalez. Let me try one more shot here to see. I guess I didn't set up the one truck on the side view. I apologize for that. So anyways, y'all get the hint on that truck right there. He's looking really, really good so far. So we'll just go high and wide with him here to get everybody. But Jose Gonzalez sitting in the 8th place spot. Chad Coleman, last week's winner. Now he's done moved it up. Started 7th, currently sitting in 9th. Matthew Welsenbach, well, he was way back in 28th spot. Currently in 10th right now, trying to hang on to it in that 29. Brian Chambliss, he's up here, started 20th, currently sitting in 11th place position right now. Stephen Goschalk, who was in 8th, he's currently sitting in 13th, got that Nerf mobile looking very good. Joey Katina with his awesome and AC Delco machine, he started 18th, and right now he's sitting in the 14th place spot, made up a few positions. Jimmy Coleman, there's another one there. I don't know if he's related to Chad Coleman or not. We'll have to find that out later on, but he started 31st, and he's up to 15th right now. Chris Gibbs right here. He's got the Sim Speed Chop machine looking good. Started 17th, currently in 16th. E.J. O'Rourke, who we just talked about, missing that big heartbreaker there, missing pit road. Got him caught way back. Didn't lose a lap, thankfully. And he started 11th. He's back at 17th, so he's got enough time to move it back to the front. Rick McBride, the 78 machine right here. Started 16th, back 18th. Sean Bounty, he won one of the dual races in the Cup cars. Not had the truck season that he's been wanting so far. Started 19th, and he is in 19th. Stevie Minson, well, it's a wild man right there. Let him get around three trucks, or whatever. He's going to try to make it 3, 4, and 5 wide if he can to get to the front. Well, he's in 20th right now. Bobby Terrell is sitting in 21st position in that number 14 with the Muscle Milk. He almost pulled off the Winter Series miracle there and Cinderella story and almost won the championship. But he's currently in the 21st spot. 22nd, Joe Hudson. He's sitting in 22nd. Started 6th, so he's falling off the pace just a little bit. Just have to see, man, to keep an eye on him if he can come back to the front in that 42. Michael Prester right there, 23rd, started 22nd. He's trying to hang on to a few spots. Jason Swan, he started a little bit in 29th, but he's up to 24th. Now number 18, and Nathan Bowers, a 13 machine right there battling as he's up into the 25th spot. Started 30th. Brian Wortman, hey, looking good so far there, Mr. Brian. He got that 89 machine, started 33rd. He's sitting in 22nd, so he's made up a few spots. KC Duncan, he's still trying to figure these trucks out. He talked about it earlier this week. He's just having a hard time getting a handle on some of these setups and whatnot out here. He's currently in 27th. Don Runkle Jr. at the 00 machine back in the 28th spot right now. Gail Brooks, he's back here in the 29th, started 32nd, moved up a few. Old Aaron Kosf, I can't say his last name, but Aaron, either way, he started 35th. He's up in the 30th position right now. The 27 machine there, Justin Roden. He started 21st. He's fallen off the pace just a little bit back in 31st position. Bobby Wetzel, he's back here in the 9th. Well, he's the biggest dropper right now. Started 5th, way back in the 32nd. Must have had some bad issues on pit road in that number 9 machine. Ben Peterson, he started 36 up to 33rd, so he's moved up a few spots. They're 34th position right now. Adam Blayton, who started 15th, he's fallen off a little bit. He's back in the 34th. Jonathan Lockhart, he's about 35th place, started 34th, so he's only lost one position, not too bad, maintaining there. And the last man, Doug Sidman, well, we just talked about him. The 06 machine took a ride earlier on. He started 24th back. We've got one man out. That's Corey Chester, who is the number 11 machine, which takes us back up front here as Doey Woods has taken over the top spot over Nick Timms while we were going to the rundown, along with Scott Simley. And folks, that's your OSR Network rundown order. 36 machines out here. What a field.
My favorite part's the paint jobs, Joe. I love looking at the paint jobs. These guys, a lot of simspeedstop.com paint jobs out there look really good. But yeah, I love looking at these paint jobs. They put a lot of work into them, and hey man, like looking at them.
Yeah, no doubt, I do too. That's why it is. Kind of gives me an idea to get to run down here, show off a lot of these guys. And for some reason, I didn't have my one for the Chevrolets. I didn't have my one angle right for them. The Toyotas were right, but I went to a wider angle there. Kind of still showed off all the drivers, but you know, in a big field like this, you know, sometimes, man, it's frustrating to get through. We try to get through some of the battles here. And yeah, I have drivers all the time. Joe, you do the rundown order and this and that, and I enjoy doing it because it actually does give these guys a show off the paint, show off who they are and where they're at, you know. And with a big field, sometimes, you know, hey, you know, we just might miss one or two.
Yeah, I guess that's why, you know, that can prove that you hadn't done it in a while. You ain't got that one shot there that you like. But hey, OSR Network does the best they can, and hopefully we'll start doing it more often, Joe. But we got to have some green flag runs.
Well, and here's the thing too. We've got some of the best fans out there. I got away from it for I don't know what reason I got away from it, but I actually just stopped doing it. I don't know why, but you're right though. You do have to have the kind of a little wrong the green flag, but believe me, the fans here, I enjoy them, and they will let me know. Especially if I don't do the blimpy cam, if I don't do anything like that. Hey, Joe, well, what are you doing? Sleeping up there?
Hey, you got to take care of your fans. I mean, and if they like the rundown, I mean, you got to have the green flag runs. And, you know, one thing I like about cautions, I don't like a whole lot of them, but I love watching the replays.
Yes, and that is yeah, me too. You know, when they talk about cautions, we only had one caution this past Monday here at the SIM500 with the cup machines. We're working on one caution tonight for Atlanta. And big fields, we had 42, 41, I believe, cars, cup machines start that race Monday. One caution. We've got 37 that started tonight, 36, 35 right now on the track. And we're still working on what? I'll just give us a summary here. We're Doey Woods is the leader. We've completed 69 of 110, 6 lead changes, and like I said, one caution for tonight.
It's been a great race so far. Only one caution is going to hurt a lot of guys out there because they wanted a caution, and I mean, that's just part of it. You know, you either get them or you don't. You know what I think would be cool though? If we had a guest up in here. I'd love to see John Marine up here in the booth one day. That'd be awesome. He puts in a lot of work out there. He knows his stuff, and I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, if we could get him to get a mic or something, get him up here, that'd be awesome. Get him on TeamSpeak. I know he's out there in the chat. He definitely is one of those guys. He loves it. And talking about the fans, don't want to get away from the race too much of these guys out here on the field, but real quick, we talk about the fans. We talk about guys like John. John out there does not have iRacing, folks. He watches these races because he enjoys watching them, and we appreciate him coming over here. And I see him at other broadcasters and watching them and stuff. So he just enjoys watching the races, knows a lot of insights and whatnot, and that is exciting for the other fans, and exciting for ourselves here, and exciting for the drivers and the leagues too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's OSR Network's best fan, I would say. I mean, he's in week in, week out, every night usually, and he's very dedicated to this racing stuff, man. He makes some killer paint jobs too. It's not for iRacing, but he does do some great work. I see him around on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Doey Woods still is the man out front right now. He's in charge of this one. And done quite a good one. He's led 9 laps. Scott Simley. I call him Scott Smiley. Well, right now he's smiling because, well, he's up in second place spot, and he could get up there, but he's got Jose Gonzalez looking on his inside. Maybe going to try to take that second spot away.
Yeah, top 5 stacked up right now. Doey Woods, Scott Smiley. You say Smiley. It's Simley, but Jose Gonzalez, Chad Coleman, and Timothy Johnson, and Milt Matisse for 6th. And Chad Cole's right there 7th. Timothy Matthews, I mean, you see them all running up towards the top now, towards the end here. We're coming up on about 35, 36 to go. Getting down to the nitty gritty here. They're going to have to get it together if they plan on, but they're going to have to make another pit stop.
They are. You see Chad Coleman left the door open there for him on the inside, and you see that truck just push up the track and can't hang on to it down low, and that's probably going to put him right back behind Scott Simley. He almost had the pass, but it was what we were seeing all race long. Trucks just pushing.
Yeah, and he'll build his momentum back up and try it again, or just stay in it and keep trying. But right now, that number 20, SIM500 truck looking good out there. He's running around the bottom. He's about to make that pass over the number 12 there. So great race between those two. They're trying to move forward there. They're holding each other back. They're going to come up on some pit stops. So right about now is when you want to let somebody go if you plan on pitting.
Boy, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if you saw what I saw right there. The 20 of Chad Coleman. He had him cleared, but could not keep the momentum enough to push up the track off the turn. That allowed the 12 there, Scott Simley, to just rumble on the outside and keep that momentum going. That's just what it's been like. And I take it back to that reference. Mine's being Charlotte. You go in to the low line, middle, and you can hold it, but look at him there low. But look at that high line run off the turn. Can't get it, though. He cuts the nose that time, and he gets it done.
Yeah, he made it happen there. And good thing Scott Simley's a nice guy there. He gave him a break. But, hey, like I said, they're going to be coming up on pit stops. They're making it harder on each other running side by side like that. But you definitely want to give it a lap or two and see which one's going to be faster. That way you ain't turned around next lap trying to pass again side by side.
Yeah, and Steve Gottschalk, another mover up here, is up in the top 10, but we got some green flag pit stops, and obviously this is going to be the last ones as Timothy Johnson's on pit road right now. A few other ones, Bobby Wetzel's on pit road, or has done his pit road stop. Matthew Welzenbach is another one who made one earlier on. He's only on 7-lap old tires. Theoretically, he could probably make it the whole entire way.
Yeah, Nick Timms, he's done made his final pit stop of the night, and he's in a good shot. Like I said, 23rd. It's hard to you're hard on yourself when you're back there in the back, but you definitely want to keep going and keep plugging along. A lot of guys are a lap down right now, and you never know if a caution is going to come out, and it could change your night. I mean, you might be running bad right now. Caution comes out, gives you another chance.
And you're right. One thing that these guys that are lap down don't want to see is a caution right now. They'd love to get back on the lead lap. Then maybe one come out they'd play into their hand, but obviously right now, not what they need. Is, most notably would be Nick Timms. As you can just see him coming through the field on those newer tires, he's almost getting up there to where I think it's Timothy Matthews is, so with the top 5 here soon. And he'll run down the leader and actually pass him here shortly.
Yeah, we got a couple more trucks on pit road. Nathan Bowers is on pit road. Michael Priester's on pit road. EJ O'Rourke, he's done made his way down. Rhett McBride, he's on pit road. A lot of trucks on pit road right now, making that final pit stop.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. What I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a good one so far. As Jose, he's up to second spot. Around Scott Simley there. Must have used some. He got around him earlier. Excuse me. Chad Coleman is another one who was still just trying to work over Scott Simley. Well, actually, he got around Scott Simley finally, excuse me. But he's working over a lap down car. That's my bad. Casey Duncan.
Oh, he's barely a lap down there. He's doing good. Casey Duncan, like I said, a lot of great people over here. And it's unfortunate when you get caught a lap down like that. And, he's starting in the back. I mean, that you really hope for a caution, man. And these guys just didn't get it.
No, they didn't right now, which we still got a little to go here from about 20 some laps, about 29, 28, somewhere in that area. Give or take.
Yeah, 27, yeah, 28.
They taught me the redneck calculator, Start adding them up.
Oh, I just count on my fingers, Joe. I mean, it's easier.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Yeah,
you got 10 of them, right? Or no, you got 8.
Yeah, I don't know.
And 2 thumbs.
Yeah. Jose Gonzalez on pit road. Doey Woods on pit road. Chad Coleman too. So let's watch their pit stop here right fast. Just kind of see what strategy.
These are all the front runners right here coming down pit road. Doey Woods, Jose Gonzalez, Chad Coleman right there with each other.
Now, talked about a guy like Nick Timms who was short pitting earlier. We'll see if this pays off for him. Now, obviously, these guys are going to go with 4 tires and fuel. But let's see what it does for a guy like Nick Timms, who is now up to 5th place. He is now coming across the start-finish line. Those guys are still in pit road. So he's got what he's got. If he can get out far enough in front of them, like you said, it's basically what you were talking about earlier. He's going to see if those guys can run them down.
Yeah, and you see that Scott Simley, he was leading there when 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place came in, and he came in the very next lap there. He don't want to give them no advantage here coming down to the end of the race, so he made his way on the pit road. Going to get him 4 tires and some fuel, see if he can't hold on to that lead. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight, live here at SIM500. Atlanta Motor Speedway here for the SimSpeedShop.com Wednesday night truck series. Good one so far. Winner green flag pit stops. Pretty much the whole field is taking them down and kind of cycled through everyone I see out there. Nick Timms, that man, Mr. 9 times, out front. Just to give you an idea, he's got, well, I won't know until he crosses the line this time. It's quite how far in front of Timothy Johnston he's got. Only showing 3.9 seconds. Now with that, you think he's got enough lead to hold them all?
It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, there's a lot of laps left, and, one mistake, they could be all over the back end of him. You know how that goes.
Time-wise, time-wise, we're looking at his time. He's running about a 10th, maybe a 10th and a half quicker right now. Maintains that speed for a little bit, he can climb away from him. You don't want to be battling with a lap down car like that, though, because that's going to slow him down. That's something he doesn't want to get into it with. But he needs a good solid 10, obviously. This is something we bring out. All right, last lap, that puts an end to it. 5 or so to go, caution comes out. That usually puts an end to it. So he could be either going for, let's say, the next 10, 20, about 22 laps, or he could be only going for about the next 18 or so.
Hey, well, I said it earlier, Nick Timms, he was in the back there. Now he's leading this race right now, so that short pitting worked for him. He's been out there for about 5 laps longer than Chad Cole. about 9 or 10 laps longer than Doy Woods. Doy Woods just came in with Chad Coleman and Jose Gonzalez. That's the race to watch there between Tim Matthew, Doy Woods, Chad Coleman. Those guys right there putting on a show right now.
Well, the man right now, though, that Nick Timms does not want to see, what he just saw was Chad Cole blowing by the 55 of Timothy Johnson, who last time around was about 3/10 quicker than Nick Timms up front. And at that speed, he will run down the leader in no time.
Chad Cole been quiet all race. All of a sudden, towards the end, he's up front in that Sears Die-Hard machine, and that number 82 is fast right now.
Yes, he is. I mean, the last laps, like I say, he ran a 32.27 to a 32.82 of Nick Timms. That's almost, like I say, that's a solid 3/10 at least. Let's see what it is when they cross the line this time by.
Yeah. That's a lot of time. He should have him caught here shortly, maybe 4 laps.
Ooh, yeah, that time around, almost 4/10 different. Yeah, I'm with you there, Gerald. He keeps a pace up like that. If he get around this lap down car, if he keeps a pace up like that, he's only 2.3 seconds back. He's definitely gonna have him here in probably the next 3 or 4 laps or so.
Yeah, and the 55 of Timothy Johnson is right behind Chad Cole. He's only a few tenths back. Doy Woods right there. All those guys are really fast. They're going to have to watch out for the 07 of Doy Woods, the 20 of Chad Coleman, and 26 Jose Gonzalez. Those guys right there are out there on the freshest tires of those guys that are in the top 6 or 7.
And to give you an idea speed-wise, Doy Woods ran a 32.013, faster than Chad Cole. He's almost 5/10 faster. Chad Coleman again in the 016 bracket there. As you see, Doy Woods going on the outside of the 55, so he is running them down. Folks, they're only 2.4 seconds back. And now 2.2 with what do we got?
5 laps.
8 to go.
No, we got 18 to go, and you know, you're knocking off a half a second a lap, and they're only 2.5 seconds ahead. That's 5 laps, man. He'll be all over the back end of him here shortly, but he's going to have those other 2 trucks there with him. You know, Chad Coleman, Jose Gonzalez, and Doy Woods all on the same set of tires.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see. What he needs is those guys to get up there and start battling with each other for a while. Maybe we'll see if Doy Woods was how fast. It all depends on how fast he gets around Chad Cole here, whether or not he can actually run down Nick Timms. And yellow flag is out. That's going to change everything we're just talking about.
That hurts a lot of people's feelings right there, Joe.
Yes,
it don't hurt mine none. I get to watch this replay here with you, but I mean, woo!
Well, let's watch the replay here as it involves Aaron. Oh, him and the 21 made contact with each other. Gale Brooks back in the back, hitting the wall very hard and just slamming. I hate to see that on Aaron's part right there, but boy, I'm going to tell you what, this mixes it up front. Now, this is not what Nick Timms definitely wanted to see because he is on very old tires. Chad Cole either, but do you come into the pits? That's the question.
I would say so. I mean, you're going to want to do what the guys up front do for sure, you know, and hope that the guys behind you go in too. There's a lot of time left here. They're going to be running about 11 laps here on this restart before it's over. And, you know, if you were watching that replay, that number 34 truck, he got really lucky. Him and the number 6 truck, they barely slid through that accident there. But, you know, the 21 got caught up in it with the 03.
Well, next question. Any 2-tire takers?
If you're Doy Woods, Chad Coleman, Jose Gonzalez, it's definitely possible. You know, it wouldn't hurt them to gamble a little bit. It just depends how much time it makes up who all takes 2 tires. I mean, it's definitely a gamble, but as you see, they all came down.
All right, let's watch Nick Timms. Let's see what he actually does here. It'll be interesting to see if anybody does slap 2 tires on. Sean Bounty, who is only on 9-lap old tires, might be a taker. We'll just have to just watch and see as Nick Timms got the left side up. Looks like they're going to go for 4 tires. Yep. All of them up front there is going for 4 tires. The 55 to 44, 07 to 51. Now, there wasn't much fuel involved there, I can tell you that, because he dropped. As soon as it dropped, he was gone. Nick Timms out front.
78 took 2.
He took
Man,
2?
Brett
All right.
McBride, he said, I'm out of here. I ain't waiting no longer. And it worked for him. You know, he came from a little ways back there. Now he's up to third, I believe.
He is. And the reason he's up in the third is right now, Brian is the only one I'm showing on the track who is yet to come in. Now, he's out there on 15 old tires. Hey, again, we go back to, what'd you say earlier? Got to gamble sometimes?
He's gonna wave around, I believe.
He's going to wait. Okay. Right.
I believe he's a wave around truck. I'm
okay.
not for sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's down on the apron. It might be one of the wave rounds, but hey, it wouldn't surprise me to gamble. I mean, pretty much the first person gambling up there is going to be Rick McBride to try to come out of this one. Now, he's going to be there. Pretty much everybody took 4 tires. He's going to be up there with some guys that are going to be pretty quick. And it's all a matter of just how fast they can get around him at the end of this one.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have his hands full with all those guys on fresh tires. And, you know, it's a gamble, and he took it. So he's got to live with that decision, and hopefully it works out for him. He's definitely gained a lot of spots. So if he can go from where he was to where he is now and finish somewhere in the top 5, then it worked for him. It'd really be awesome if he won the race. Then he would be really happy with that decision.
Yeah, well, yeah, no doubt about that. So Rick McBride's going to be up there in about the second place. We're showing him second right now, so I don't know if he's second or third, but either way, Chad Coleman up there. Chad Cole and Chad Coleman, both of them. So we're back to the Chad show.
Yeah, they show up at the end for sure. There's a lot of Toyotas out there, I see.
Yeah, we got the Toyota mate. Doing really representing out in this series.
Yeah, well, 3 of the top 5's Toyotas. You got Chad Cole and Chad Coleman there in the Chevys. So, hey, I'm rooting for the Chevys on this one. And I definitely got a good shot considering it's Chad and Chad, right?
Yeah, no doubt. They have been bad fast. But I wouldn't mind seeing old Nick Timms pull it off again. You know, I don't know. All these guys, man, are good. It's going to be interesting. Which then, you know, you got Rick McBride up there, too. He's going to start on the high side. He's going to have to see he's going to have an awesome start. I mean, Nick's going to probably want the best start of his life here. Much, this could be the end of it here, the last start of the race.
Yeah, and I mean, if you asked me who I thought was going to win, I'd say the 51. He's got the benefit of starting when he wants to. He gets to jump out and get a good lead there, and they're going to start battling behind him. And with 13 to go under green, he's definitely got a good shot to pull this one home.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Victory Lane.
Victory Lane, that's right.
That's where they all want to go, Joe.
At Atlanta, hot Atlanta, and it's been very, very good here tonight. You're right, John. Business is about to pick up here. Pace cars out of turn 4. Errol, we're about to go back green flag racing. When they cross the line, it's going to be lap 98 here. Not quite 10 to go. As that Porsche pace car pulls off, here we go. Nick Timms, he wastes no time taking off. Rick McBride gets a good jump. Joey Wood looks like he got caught up on the back end back there. Did not get the start that he wanted.
No, and there's, like I said about the restart there, the 51 of Nick Timms got out there and, you know, left the 78 to battle with 2 tires up on the high side. The 82 with 4 freshies, Chad Cole, Chad Coleman down there making their way around the 78 there. So it's going to be a heck of a battle here between the 51, 82, and the 20, and the 55 of Timothy Johnson.
And what Nick wants to see out front behind in his rear view mirror right now is those guys battling. The 82 of Chad Cole and Chad Coleman in the 20 back there. Doesn't want to see a man close in, but it looks like the 82 there. But as he does, the door opens on the inside as Chad Coleman is going to try to put it in there. Timothy Johnson's in the mix. So he wants to see those 3 trucks, man, get back there and mix it up.
Oh, man, the 78 dropped back like a rock, like John was saying, a rock in water. And Chad earlier, he went from second to 15th in a lap and a half. And that goes to show you 2 tires against 4. But you got to make that gamble. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Unfortunately for the 78, it didn't work this time. The 82's up on the high side there when they went into 1. Chad Cole, he's got Chad Coleman down on the bottom. The 20 looking to make that pass. The high side keeping up that momentum. Nick Timms trying to get away.
Yeah, he is. Nick Timms loving what he's seen in his rearview mirror. Now, don't blink. 5th place man, E.J. O'Rourke. He messed up pit lane earlier, but boy, he is coming to the front here. He's up the 5th. This caution helped him out probably one of the most here. Got him back on cycle. He's on the back end of Timothy Johnson, looks up high, and is going to try to battle it out for that position.
Yeah, and I bet when that caution come out, he took his hands off the wheel and he shouted out loud because he's definitely wanted that.
Yes, after that mess up there on the pit road entry and then get messing up way back in the back, he definitely was marred back in traffic. But boy, he is rumbling on the outside. Very fast machine he's got. He's up to 4th. I mean, again, Nick Timms, this is what he wants to see.
Yeah, man, what a race between the 55 of Timothy Johnson there, Dory Woods right there in the 07, Jose Gonzalez in the 26. I mean, look at these guys go here with 10 to go, 9 to go.
Yeah, 9 to 8 to go here in this one in Atlanta. Boy, it is definitely picking up as E.J. O'Rourke is rumbling to the front. Chad Coleman's trying to maintain 82 of Chad Cole's on the inside of Jose Gonzalez. Nick Timms out front, and he's hoping those guys at least battle, maybe at least for another couple laps, and then he'll be like, throw a caution. I'd love to see that.
Hey, the 41 of EJ is looking really good right now, and he's got the 82 battling with Jose behind him. Chad Cole trying to hold off the 26. Dory Woods right behind him, trying to find a way through, man. It's hard when you're in a spot like that. You got nowhere to go. You just got to kind of ride for a second, I guess, unless you're Stevie. But, hey, man, looking good for the 51 right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely these guys, man, are rumbling to the front here and definitely trying to do a good job on it as Nick Timms out front there, Mr. 9 times. Trying to put it win column here tonight. The SIM500 Truck Series presented by SimSpeedShop.com. Chad Coleman in 2nd. E.J. O'Rourke there in 3rd. Jose Gonzalez in 4th. Dory Woods up to 5th. And now you see Chad Cole going to go to door there with a 54 of Tim Matthews.
Yeah, Tim Matthews up on the high side. Looks like the high side's where it's at right now. Dory Woods trying to hold off the 54 there because we're coming down to 6 to go here as they cross the start-finish line. They're going to try to do everything they can to hold on to their position or move forward, one or the other. Right now, the 20 of Chad Coleman starting to close off that gap a little bit on the 51 of Nick. And Nick's just counting down the laps. The 20 is really fast right now, Joe. Yeah,
big battle going on right here. The 82 Chad Cole along with Tim Matthews right there. They almost got contact-wise. That checked up, man, a little bit. And here look at that 07 of Dory Woods. Had to drive it up high in order so he didn't drive it in the back end of the 82.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've seen the low side work a little bit there, but I guess, you know, you have a little bobble coming off. As you see the 20 made his way around Nick Timms to take over the lead. Nick Timms ain't giving up in that 51 as he's going to dive it down in there on the bottom side there, try to make a stick, see if he can't hold off at 20, but the high side's got a lot of momentum. It's going to be hard to make a pass on the bottom.
Yes, it is, and you see that lets E.J. O'Rourke close in on back deck lid of him. But right now, Nick Timms is in trouble as we've only got 4 to go here. The 20 of Chad Coleman out front.
You see the 41, he chose not to dive down on the inside of the 51. He'd rather be on the high side there if he's going to make a pass. You see what happened to the 51 when he was on the low side. He lost some of that momentum, allowed E.J. O'Rourke to slide right up on the back end of him there, but hey, man, the 20's looking good right now. Jose Gonzalez is really fast. Dory Woods has got his hands full of Timothy Matthews, man, and the 82, Chad Cole right there in the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, and Nick Timms right there trying to hold off a hard charge and E.J. O'Rourke. It was bounced back, and Jose Gonzalez is right there. Tim Matthews is in the mix. But these guys won't give up. But, boy, you see the bobble there by the 51. We've got 2 to go.
They're giving it all they can do, man. I mean, they're driving these trucks for all it's worth right now. No time to save tires. It's time to go right now. It's unfortunate for Dory Woods right now to be stuck down on that bottom side, but he is really fast down there, and he's making it work. So I'd like to see him get to the top and see what he's got, because if he's that fast on the bottom, he'd probably be really fast up on the high side. He had to lift there. He about come up into the 82 truck of Chad Cole. He didn't, fortunately, and E.J. O'Rourke just made his way around Nick Timms in the 51 to take over second. Now Nick Timms has got his hands full of that number 26 of Jose Gonzalez. They're all fighting for second, third, and fourth right there. What a race.
Final
Last
lap. Yep, final lap. Here we go. Nick, Chad Coleman out front. And boy, I'll tell you what, the battle's on for second place. E.J. O'Rourke, he rumbled to it. Nick Timms has got his hands full with Jose Gonzalez. They storm off down to the backstretch for the final time.
Look, Chad in the 82 is looking to make a move there, man. He didn't have the room that he needed. It's like he's going to end up staying behind Jose, but man, that was a nice race. Congratulations to the number 20 of Chad Coleman for winning that one, and the 41 E.J. O'Rourke finishing second. And what a comeback by E.J., man, to come back. Luckily, that caution came out for him. He got a good finish, but you know he wanted to win this race. And third place goes to Nick Timms in the 51.
Yep, we'll watch this replay right fast here. The last lap coming out of the last turn here. As Chad Coleman wins it here, but the battle for third spot, man, Nick Timms held on to it by a bumper over Jose Gonzalez. Wow.
What a battle. What a race tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed that as much as I did.
Yes, me too.
I mean, that late race caution, I mean, it really made for a great finish to a long race here tonight at Atlanta here with the SIM500, sponsored by SimSpeedShop.com, man. And, hey, that's the way we like to see them finish right there. They all finish nice and strong.
All right, let me bring up old Nick Timms up here. Put him in here. E.J. O'Rourke. See where he's at. He's down here. And Chad Coleman's last one. Well, Chad Coleman 2 for 2. All right, there we go. I'll tell you what, Gerald. Let's bring up our third place man here tonight. That's the 9 times Nick Timms. He almost pulled it off. So let's bring him up here and let you talk to him with him.
Nick Timms, this is Jay Weezy in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear, man.
Hey, what a race there, man. I was pulling for you on that last restart there. And, hey, man, you couldn't quite hold them off there. They was awful fast there behind you. But you wound up finishing in third tonight. How'd you feel about the race tonight and your performance?
You know, I thought it was a great race, the way it played out there, you know, using a little bit of pit strategy to kind of short pit the guys and get out the front and lead some laps, you know, was good for us. And you know, I just didn't have anything for them in the long run, and talented, but be able to run third and get a good finish here is what we definitely needed.
Hey, well, you finished on the podium tonight. You started that last restart with 13 to go on the pole. And I told everybody, hey, if I had to guess who was going to pull this one off, it'd be that 51 truck, man. You got a great restart, man. But, hey, got a lot of talented drivers over here, man. They wound up running you down. But you can't hold your head down too low for a third-place finish here at Atlanta.
Absolutely. I mean, Chad Coleman's a beast, and E.J. O'Rourke is super talented. So, you know, to come home third to those guys is like a win for us. So,
hey, well, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Good thing to get this Hitman Racewear Toyota out front, and want to thank Sim Speed Shop for putting this series on, and we can do next week.
Hey, good looking truck, man. And hey, hopefully we'll see you here in Victory Lane pretty soon.
I hope so.
All right, that's old Nick Timms right there, man. Coming up in third place. Ran for second place, man, here. Let's get talking with him.
What they're doing, you?
E.J. O'Rourke, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, we talked to you last week. You finished, what, third, I believe, and you wasn't very happy about that. So I know you wanted to win this race. But, hey, from coming back from missing that pit road there, and finally you got a caution, you had something go your way, you wound up finishing second. What did you think about your race tonight?
Well, the reason I finished second is because I got up on the wheel and drove to it. I didn't look into it. That was insane. I probably passed the most trucks out of anyone tonight. It's just my own screw up again on pit road. I can't pit for whatever reason. It's pit road and lost 10 seconds and was still going to come out top 5 or 10, but caution flew my way. I still had a drive up there, which was amazing. That was cool.
Hey, well, I can agree with you on that pit road entrance. This is a tricky place to make a green flag pit stop, especially on a hot track like y'all had out there today on some old tires, man. But hey, you was fast out there. You started the race, man. You went up through the field like I thought you was gonna lap the whole field there for a second, and then you made a little mistake there trying to get on the pit road. But luckily for you, that caution came out, man, and you finished in second. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, I started 11th and drove all the way up to the lead. I mean, it was cool with Jose battling there and, you know, this Gary Mercer trucking. And I threw SIM500.com on the side because what they do for this series. And, of course, you guys, too, and everyone at SIM500 for what they do. But, yeah, I mean, this track is multiple grooves. I mean, I was painting the white line in 3 and 4 and up against the fence on 1 and 2. That was one of the funnest things I've ever done. That was a really good time.
Hey, well, y'all put on one heck of a show out there, man. And, hey, congratulations for finishing second.
Well, thank you. Congrats to Chad Coleman on the win. And I feel bad for Dory. I feel like he had that race won if the caution didn't fly. But I guess that's what happens sometimes in big-time sim racing. And we'll go get him next week.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you in victory lane.
Well, thank you. I hope so, too. That'd be cool.
All right, that's EJ O'Rourke right there, man, in second. Bring up the race winner here, and Carol, I'm gonna let you talk in with him here, Chad Cole, here tonight's race winner.
Chad Coleman, this is Jay Weezy in OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, what a race out there tonight. You wound up bringing this one home. It was a hard-fought battle. Track was nice and hot. What'd you think about it?
I was dreading this race during practice, and you know, we were practicing. It was really tight, just extremely tight. Race started, track heated up, groove started to move around. It was a lot of fun. That first caution, we went down pit road. I got in the pit stall a little too hot, and then backed up too far, and then got too far to the left, and so I ruined it. I ruined that first stop about any way you could. And which set up an interesting run through the field.
Yeah, well, we was just talking about them pit stops, man. It's tricky getting on the pit road here at Atlanta, man, especially with a hot track out there on some old tires. So I can agree with you on that. And yeah, you pretty much ruined it every which way you could, but you wound up coming in with the win tonight, and you drove up through there to get it. You took it from Nick Timms there, and he didn't give it to you. I can guarantee you that. So you had a great finish and a great run. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, thank Joey and Chad Cole and even Jose, I guess, for everything that goes on here. Oh yeah, thank Joe. I think this is actually Joe's league. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thank JD Laird for painting me the Sim Speed Shop truck. And other than that, thanks everybody for the race. I mean, hell, the race was really good for, you know, 70, 80 laps right there. And then we had a caution to set up the run to the end. But other than that, this was a lot of fun. Good day in Atlanta.
Hey, absolutely, especially for you, man. You're doing them burnouts over there. I hear you, man. Good win. And hey, I'd like to thank you too, man. Y'all put on a great show out there, all the drivers out there, and what a race here for the SIMSpeedShop.com, the SIM500 here at Atlanta.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed that.
Hey, congratulations.
All right, old Chad Coleman right there. I think that makes, what, 2 for 2 for him here in the trucks?
He's looking good, man. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he won at Daytona.
All right, I want to bring up the race results order here for tonight. Chad Cole puts it in victory lane. EJ O'Rourke there in second. We got Nick Timms sitting in third. Jose Gonzalez there in fourth. Tim Matthews fifth. Chad Cole in sixth. Milt Matisse there in seventh. Joey Woods in eighth. Timothy Johnson ninth. Around the top 10, Stephen Goschalk. To look through the rest of the field, I'll say what Chad said. Great race. On 2 cautions here tonight. Had a long green flag run, and it was just an exceptional run here at Atlanta.
Oh, I enjoyed it. And, you know, like I said a while ago, you know, that late race caution there coming out, letting them shoot out to the finish, man. Put on a great show for me. And hopefully everybody out there watching, man, we'd like to thank all the viewers for hanging in there and watching us over here. And Sim500 for letting OSR Network be a part of this. SimSpeedShop.com, man. Check them out. They got all the great button boxes and stuff for your sim needs. So I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Well, with that said, folks, we're going to leave Atlanta here tonight for the SIM500 Wednesday night truck series here, presented by SimSpeedShop.com. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Till then, everyone, have a good night.